distinguished guests. Today, we celebrate the success of my fellow classmates as we have endured 4 long, arduous years in Impact Early College High School. Many of us have had to juggle high school, college, and work in our everyday lives. Many of us have had to spend time walking in the heat, or in the cold, or in the rain, as we moved in between campuses. And towards the end of the year, many of us did everything in our power to avoid coming to school during the dreaded days of CIO. Despite it all, we survived. And now I stand before you to talk about our day of success. But because the internet told me that I should be myself in this speech, obviously I have to talk about my favorite singer, Frank Sinatra, as we talk about success. Now, when you're given nicknames like The Voice or the chairman of the board, you know you're doing something right. And sure, today there might be some people like The Weeknd or Beyonce now, but back in the day, Frank was on top of the world. And from the passion and effort he put into his 40-year-long career, he created a legacy that will stand the test of time. Even 20 years after his death, people still play his songs through the passing generations. We should all strive to be someone akin to a Frank Sinatra. Someone who's not only the best in his craft, but who's also a symbol for ambition and success. But as you may know, success does not come alone. Everyone who achieves greatness does it with the help of countless others. Success comes from the people around us. Sinatra would never have been successful without the help of his mother, who found his first work for him singing in a group called the Three Flashes. He would never have reached fame without the help of Tommy Dorsey, the well-renowned band leader who took him under his wing and recorded his first hits. And he never would have performed my favorite song, Fly Me to the Moon, without the help of Count Basie and his orchestra. We all have Tommy Dorsey's and Count Basie's and mothers in our lives that motivate us to be Sinatras. And while I'm up here, I would like to take the time to thank a few of mine. I would like to start with a few of my friends that have made a great impact on my life, starting with Mr. Roland Langley, Mr. Roll Dog. He was the prom king. Last Friday, our school was taking photos for the top 10. I was supposed to be there in the morning, and I woke up at 8:30, put on sweats and rushed to school, and I completely forgot about the pictures. And since I was salutatorian, I had to stand beside Siavash, who obviously was wearing a full-blown suit, because he came prepared. Of course, you were in school just like you are every day, dressed all frat, with your polo shirt, Ralph Lauren, and shorts. And I asked you as a joke if you'd like to switch clothes with me, so that I could look a little bit better. But you actually let me. That is just one of the many times you pulled through for me all these years, and I thank you for always being there to help me out. And thanks for letting me borrow your Netflix account. My family and I greatly appreciate it. This next one goes out to Cheyenne Landy, aka Shaq. I don't know how, but even though you're the quietest person out of everyone I hang out with, everyone can agree that you're probably the funniest. I don't know how you constantly come up with these jokes every day. I don't know. I still remember that one summer, sophomore year, when we would spend 12 hours a day, every day, playing League of Legends or Street Fighter on the Xbox. And you're one of my favorite people to play basketball with. Thank you for always being able to make me smile, even in my most stressful times. This next one goes out to Siavash, Lil Val, Salutatorian. I don't know if you remember, but one day when we were freshmen sitting at the bus, I don't know why, but we were talking about class rank, like in orientation. And you told me you knew who your competition was. And you said that person was me. I didn't think about it much at first, but I guess it worked out for the both of us. There have been many times where we felt mentally fatigued and joked about how our brains severely deteriorated and that we can't think anymore. But we managed to pull through. I enjoyed all the classes that I've had with you, and it's an honor to be friends with such a hardworking guy. Thank you for inspiring me to continuously challenge myself and persevere through the sleepless nights. This next one goes out to Adrian. You are the biggest troll I've ever met. You can say some things that get really under my skin, but it's okay. You introduced me to boba. I use that to treat myself every day. It's a good drink. But in all seriousness, I remember in prom weekend when I went to Surfside Beach, I lost my glasses in the waves. And you helped find it with me, even though we both knew our efforts were futile. Thank you for being someone whom I can depend on and always talk to. I'd like to move on to some of my family members. I'd like to say thanks to my uncles, JC and JR. 6 years ago, I had the pleasure of living with you guys when you first moved to America from the Philippines. For years, we would share laughs as we stayed up until 2 in the morning playing on the Xbox. And because I had so much fun playing 2K with you guys, you were the ones that actually got me into basketball. So thanks for me. I try not to show it the day of, but the day you guys moved out along with my grandparents was one of the saddest days of my life. But it was time for you guys to move on through your life, as it was time for ours. I'm glad that we're still able to hang out on the weekends and play basketball, so that's a plus. It was a pleasure to be able to live with you guys the moment you were here, and you guys were the older brothers that I never had, so thank you. This next one goes to my dad. You were my first friend, so thanks for that. We did everything together. When I was 4 years old, you would wake me up for my afternoon naps that I always take, just so we could watch Spider-Man. We shared many of the same interests. We played video games together. We watched WWE together, back when it was still cool. And today, we watch basketball together. But my favorite moments were always those when we were alone in the car, just singing songs. Sometimes we'd sing the same melody, sometimes we'd harmonize, sometimes we'd sing different parts. And overall, there was always something we could do together. So thank you for being a friend I can always spend time with. This last one, obviously, goes to my mother. It's hard to say that you haven't had the greatest influence over my life, because you have. You instilled in me the value of education, signed me up for piano lessons, and back in the day enrolled me in Taekwondo to build my character. And for a few weeks in junior high, for some reason, you put me in Kumon classes, which was probably one of the most tedious and gruesome moments of my life. But I'm sure you meant well, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Last week, you also bought me a new phone, an iPhone. So thanks for that. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of my friends made fun of me for having an Android, so I don't really blame them. So thanks for bringing me back to Team iPhone. Lastly, I know I always get frustrated when you pester me to get my stuff done, but I know you're doing it out of love and because you want me to succeed. So thank you for caring so much. My fellow graduates, those were just a few of my Tommy Dorsey's and Count Basie's and mother that supported me throughout my years. I could go on for hours, but I'm sure you don't want to hear that. I'm sure you all have Dorseys and Baseys and mothers of your own that have helped you reach success. And so, my fellow classmates, before I step off this podium, I wish to leave one lasting message to you all. Never forget the people that encouraged you and motivated you to become successful. Be grateful to those whom you can lean on when you face troubled times. But be thankful to those that have helped you become the Sinatras that you are today. Thank you.